Hi friends, when we read yesterday, Karen had taken her watch off, left the craft shop, and then Catso came in. Ralph waited, but when nothing happened, he summoned the courage to peek over his shoulder. Catso was calmly washing himself and appeared to not notice. Ralph was not fooled for an instant. He knew Catso was aware of every move he made. Drat that cat, he thought bitterly as his heart beat faster than the tick of the watch on the shelf beside his cage. Catso licked his paw over and over with great care and began to wash his right ear. That's right, thought Ralph. Take your time. He was worn out from bracing himself for the pounce that did not come. A real war of nerves, he thought, just what the cat wants. He's got me where he wants me, and he knows it. Catso groomed his left paw, currying his fur neatly in the direction of his toes. He used his teeth to pull bits of dried mud from between his paw pads, and then began to scrub his left ear. Well, come on, thought Ralph. Get over it. You don't have to be so neat. He would just as soon be knocked off his shelf by a cat with dirty ears as a cat with clean ears. Catso finished washing, looked at Ralph, and glanced away. Ralph, who was familiar with the maneuver, thought, "Here it comes." But this time Ralph was mistaken. Catso's attention had been caught by the leather strap of the wristwatch hanging over the edge of the shelf. He tapped it with his curious paw and watched it swing back and forth. Ralph's blood chilled as claws appeared from the exploring paw that batted the strap once more. Then the claws hooked the watch strap and dragged the watch down to the work table. Why, that stupid cat actually thinks the watch is a tail, thought Ralph in astonishment. Catso sat very still, listening to the watch tick. He batted it experimentally with his paw, but the watch lay as still as any terrified mouse. While Ralph watched in fascination, Catso picked up the watch in his mouth, and, with the strap hanging down like a tail, leapt from the table to the floor, where he dropped the watch, batted it about, picked it up again, and slipped out through his hole in the screen door. Ralph ventured out of his corner, with shaking paws, clung to the wires of his cage to see what happened next. Catso played with the watch a while on the bamboo leaves, but when the cook with a pan of scraps in hand opened the kitchen door, the greedy animal dropped the watch and ran off to be fed. The watch slid on a smooth bamboo husk until it came to rest, hidden from sight under some leaves. "Talk about close calls," said Chum. "Stupid cat," said Ralph, in a weak voice. Ralph was dazed by the whole experience, but he noticed Scarf leave the dining hall when the campers began to sing one of their favorite songs. "Come into the craft shop," Ralph pleaded silently. True to his promise to Aunt Jill, the boy did not enter the craft shop, but sat alone with his thoughts, twirling idly in a tire suspended from one of the trees and singing his private tune. Before long, Karen, her left arm covered with white lotion, came running into the craft shop with two of her friends. "My watch!" she cried, sending Ralph scuttling into a corner. "It's gone!" "Somebody must have taken it," said one of her friends, an older girl who was wearing polished English riding boots. "I'll bet it was that Garth Jernigan," said the second friend. "I'll bet it was too," said the girl in English riding boots. "I saw him leave the dining hall early." She brushed dust from the toe of her boot. Girls who owned English riding boots were proud of them and shined them often. Karen tried to be fair. "We don't know it was Garth, and we didn't see him come in here." The girls crowded out through the screen door to meet Aunt Jill, who had paused on her way to the shop to talk to someone. "Aunt Jill! Aunt Jill!" they cried. "Karen's watch is gone!" "Aunt Jill, we have a mystery!" cried Lana, who had tagged after the older girls in her dirty cowboy boots. She liked the dirt on her boots, which showed she was not a newcomer to camp. Everyone wanted to hear about the missing watch. Campers crowded around Aunt Jill and the three girls. Through the open window, Ralph could hear snatches of conversation. "Aunt Jill, I'm sure I left it on the shelf beside the mouse cage. I'm positive. I looked every place, and I saw Garth, and it was my birthday present. Search the lodges. He sneaks out of the dining hall. He hasn't even been excused from the table. Now, girls," this was Aunt Jill. "Well, I don't care. He acts funny." "That cat really has fixed things now," thought Ralph, as the campers gathered on the benches and at the old school desks under the walnut trees. One of the counselors led the singing, and then Aunt Jill stepped up on the platform. "Campers, I have some unhappy news today," she began. "Karen's watch is missing from the craft shop, where she is sure she laid it on a shelf. It was not an expensive watch, but it was a birthday present to Karen, and she would like very much to have it back." Here Karen nodded her head vigorously, and Aunt Jill went on. We're not going to search the lodges as someone suggested. We're going to let the person who took the watch return it because it's the right thing to do. A lot Catso cares about doing the right thing, thought Ralph. He heard Garth, who was sitting on the last bench, say angrily to the boy in front of him, "What are you looking at me for?" Aunt Jill continued, "No one needs to know who took the watch. It can be returned to the shelf in the craft shop when no one is looking, or to my desk in the office. We are not interested in who took the watch. We want it returned to Karen, because returning it is the right thing to do." Okay, we're going to stop there. We'll find out more about the watch and what's going to be happening tomorrow.